Okay, so we started with demand. I think we were discussing the meaning of demand. Yes? Let me share demand. We had discussed this, the relationship. What is demand? It is a relationship between price of a commodity and quantity of commodity, okay, at a particular point of time. So you have to take care of all these things when you're talking about demand. It has to be about a specific quantity. The price, a specific price has to be mentioned, at that price, that quantity, okay, and at what time, because as time changes, other factors can influence your demand, okay. For example, if your income increases for the same commodity, your demand can change, okay. That is why we say that it is for a particular time at that specific price and quantity, keeping all the rest of the things which influence demand as constant, okay. This point is clear. Demand is clear to all. Okay, now we were doing the types of demand. First, we had done, I think, joint demand. It is also known as complementary demand. This type of demand is for those goods which are used together. We cannot use one without the other. For example, your pen and ink, car and petrol, both the demands go together. For such type of demand, when the demand for one increases, the demand for other also increases. Okay. So the effect of price on such kind of demand will be, if the price of one commodity increases, the demand for the other one will go down, because the demand for the first one has gone down. Yes. Price and demand have a inverse relationship. So when the price of one commodity, say the price of pen has gone up, your demand for pen will go down, or you will shift to some other kind of pen. So your demand for ink for that particular pen also goes down. So in joint demand, the demand for one good is related to the demand of other good. Okay. Composite demand is demand for those goods which have several uses, okay, alternate uses. Electricity, petrol, coal, milk, these all have, and many other things, flour for that matter, they have different uses. Milk, you can make curd with it, you can drink it as such, also you can make cheese with it, you can make butter with it. It has alternate uses. So such type of things, they are known as composite. This comes under composite demand, okay. So in this demand, this also affects, like the price of one thing goes up, the entire thing for which it can be put into alternate use will be affected. Yes.
Ma'am,
Third is, yes.
ma'am, a confectioner uses sugar to make sweets. So if
Yes,
the price of sugar rises, the of sweets will also rise?
will also rise. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
because he is putting in more cost now. Yes, so to
Yes, ma'am.
increase his profit, he will increase the price. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Joint and composite is clear to all. Now we have the direct demand. Direct demand are also known as autonomous demand. Autonomous demand, why? Because these are those things without which you cannot do. Yeah, basic necessities of food, clothing, and house, shelter. This comes under this direct demand, which directly consumption of it directly satisfies your want. Okay, clear? Clear, children? Just raise your hand if there is something which is not clear in this direct demand. Okay. Now this direct demand, this is independent of demand for other commodities, because it is demand for such goods which directly satisfy your wants. This demand does not depend on demand of other goods. Okay. Derived demand is again something which depends on each other. Derive of that particular demand for that particular commodity will depend on demand for other things. Okay. Example I have given is workers in a factory. Now workers, suppose it is a cycle factory. Okay. So unless there is a demand for cycles in the market, there will be no demand for such workers in the factory. Is it clear to all? Yes or no, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this kind of demand is known as derived demand. there is a slowdown in construction industry, okay, if there is a slowdown in construction, there is no demand for new houses or very less demand for new houses. So what all do you require in construction? You require bricks, you require cement, you require other things for the house interiors and all. The demand for all that also goes down because there is a slowdown in the construction industry. Okay, so these types of demands are known as derived demands, which are derived from the use of other goods and services. Okay, okay, then competitive demand. Competitive demand is for those goods, they are close substitutes of each other. Okay, if the demand for one, if the price for one good goes up, you can easily substitute that good for other good. For example, Coke and Pepsi. Okay, now Coke, if the price of Coke increases, you can easily shift from Coke to Pepsi because the price of Pepsi has remained the same. Okay, now in this, taste and preferences play a part. It might be I like Coke only, I don't like Pepsi. So even if the price of Coke has gone up, I will still stay with Coke only and not shift to Pepsi. But normally what happens is they are very close substitutes each other of each for each other. So consumers, they can shift from here and there. Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, Fanta, all these are close substitutes of each other. So price of one goes up, the demand for other will increase. Okay, understand this concept. The price of one thing goes up, the demand for that will go down, but its close substitute, the demand for that commodity will go up. Is this point clear to all in competitive demand? There is no answer from anybody. Is it clear or not? It is clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the types of demand are clear and their relationship with price is clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's go to the next week. Yes,
Ma'am, on the last demand,
competitive.
the competitive demand.
Hmm.
For example, a person never uses coffee, but he
Okay.
uses tea. Like coffee has no utility or something like
Yes,
that.
okay.
And the tea prices go up. So won't he still buy tea?
That's what I said. Taste and preferences play a part in this. Okay. So whenever we are studying a relationship between price and demand, we keep all the other things as constant. I told you when I gave you the example of Coke and Pepsi, if I like Coke, I don't like Pepsi, I will not shift from Coke to Pepsi. But these are normal goods which are very close substitute. Generally, this happens between them. Okay. And when further also we study these relationship between price and demand, we always say other things being constant. Okay, then only we see, because there are a lot of things from which the demand is derived. Lot of things that influence demand for a commodity. Okay, so we are not concerned with that. We keep those other things as constant and just study the demand and price relationship. Okay, at that time we say for close substitutes, when the price of one commodity goes up, the demand for another commodity goes up. Okay, this now is clear to all. Let's go to the next topic, that is your demand schedule. Now what is demand schedule? Demand schedule is basically a table in which you show a relationship between the price of a particular commodity with the quantity demanded of that commodity. Okay, the various prices at different points of time and the quantity demanded corresponding to those prices, keeping all the other things constant. Okay, it is that table. Now there are two types of demand. So demand schedule shows different quantities of a quantity demanded per period of time at different prices. Okay, now there are two types of demand schedules. One is individual demand schedules, that is for one customer, one consumer. Okay, for me, for you as singly, my demand curve would be different from your demand curve. Okay, and when we take it together of all individuals, then that is known as a market demand schedule. Okay, I am showing you a table. I have picked up this table from your book only. Okay, so that you don't have a problem in understanding it. The first table shows you the individual demand schedule. Okay, It is a table wherein price of sugar is given on one side, different prices at different points of time, and the quantity demanded of one person, one individual is given. Okay, so at 30 rupees per kg, he is demanding 1 kg. Okay, at 29, it he is demanding 2. Same way, as your price decreases, his demand for sugar increases. Okay, this is for one customer, say customer A, right? This is your individual demand schedule, a tabular form of price corresponding to quantity demanded. Okay, clear?
This will come in exam.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
this will come in exam. The question will comes like this only. Explain individual demand schedule with an example. So you need to give this example. Okay. And the same way, now see at the market demand schedule, the next schedule which I have given to you, I have taken the same price of sugar, yes, and given you 3 consumers, A, B, and C, the quantity demanded by them at various levels of prices. The first one at 30 rupees, he wants 1 kg of sugar only. But your B customer, he wants 2 kgs at that time, right? The C1 wants 3 kgs at that time. They have different demand at the same prices. Okay. So for A, can you see the cursor moving? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So for A, this is your demand schedule. Okay. At each level of price, this is what they demand. For B, this entire is their demand schedule. And for C, this is their entire demand schedule. Now, when you see the last, just wait a second. Still, you can't see the last one. Can you see the last table where I have given the quantity demanded by all, the market demand schedule? You can see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the market demand schedule is a complete addition of demands by A, B, and C. Okay. So when you add 1, 2, and 3, you get 6. So at this price, 30 kgs price, the sugar demanded by all the individuals collectively is 6 kgs. Okay. So that is the meaning of market demand. When you aggregate all the demands made by the consumer, that gives you a market demand schedule. Okay. This figure is clear. This table is clear to all of you?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, and on what basis like the 1 kg to 2 kg to 3 kg?
That is just a random this thing that they have taken
Ma'am.
in the book. It is not an actual demand. Okay. This is just a random, just to make you understand they have taken this table.
And
Ma'am.
It is
what?
preference of that particular consumer and the income levels they have. The income of consumer A gives him that much only that he can, at 30 rupees, he can buy only 1 kg of sugar. But maybe the income of consumer B is more than that, or he prefers sugar more than something else. His consumption of sugar is more than consumer A. That is why at 30 rupees, he is prepared to buy 2 kgs. Is it clear? Yes,
Yes,
Arya.
ma'am.
Other thing, what I wanted to ask is, like, why are we making this table and how they will, like, what exactly will they ask in the exam?
We are making this table to learn about demand curve. As you go further, we will be learning demand curve from this. Okay. And how demand curves is used in the market. That is why we learn. So we are first learning how to make that demand curve and what is the relationship between price and quantity. Okay. And what will be the determinants which change this relationship. Is it clear?
Okay, ma'am.
That is why we have first started with what is a demand schedule. Okay. Now taking this table, we make the demand curve. Okay.
Ma'am.
This, yes.
Ma'am, while explaining that table, can we write that people use means to gain more satisfaction?
I did not understand, your voice broke. Ask your question again.
Ma'am, the means are limited and people want to gain more satisfaction from the means. Can we write?
We will see, understand demand schedule first. The next topic I'm going to take is what determines your demand. Okay. At that time, you will understand why we have, whenever we are studying price, when ahead also we start studying market also, there is always a condition which you have to mention: relationship between price and demand, keeping all other things constant. Okay, so when you keep all other things constant, your relationship between price and quantity demanded is inverse. Okay, it's common. Whenever a price of certain thing increases, you will demand less of it. Okay,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
condition will come when it is a necessity, you cannot do without it. It is a food item, you cannot do without it. So even then, if the price increases, your demand does not go down. But when we start learning about something, we have the condition everything, every other thing is constant. Okay, we will learn what are the determinants and how they are going to affect the demand. But this is just a relationship between price and demand, only that relationship. That is why we are not talking about anything else. Okay,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this clear? Okay, now taking those two, now if this figure is not clear, you can refer to your book, because I have picked it up from your book only. The first figure, that is your individual demand curve. All of you know how to plot a graph? Yes. So
Yes.
this is basically a plotting of graph only. And whenever you are making demand schedule, and for that matter, when you are making supply schedule also, your x-axis will always show quantity demanded. Keep this in mind. You will not reverse it. Okay? Your x-axis always shows quantity demanded of the commodity, and your y-axis always shows prices. Okay? For demand curve, for supply curve, always this will be followed. You will not reverse it. You will not put x axis as price and y as quantity demanded. Okay, quantity demanded will always be on x axis, and your prices will always be shown on y axis. Okay, so the table that was given before this, using that table, that means at 30 kgs, see, you see the graph, at 30 kgs they have plotted one is here. Okay, on x axis, so this is 30 kg demand. Okay, at 29 it is 2, so you can see the cursor moving, all of you. So
Yes.
this is your second point. Okay, this B is your second point. Same way, C and D, they have plotted all the points. Okay, joining this point, they have got a curve. It's simple graphic representation. Okay, this curve is known as the DD, or the demand curve of an individual person. You have got this demand curve. Okay, now same second table we have used, the market demand schedule, taken all A, B, C consumers, and we have plotted it in the graph. Okay, after we have plotted it in the graph, we have taken the fifth column, that is your market demand, A plus B plus C, and plotted it here, the fourth graph. This is your market demand curve. Okay, addition of all three consumers, of all the consumers that are there in the market, you add all their quantity demanded at the price, at this particular price, and you plot a market demand curve. This curve is clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the question that comes is, explain market demand curve, market schedule, individual schedule, with the help of a graph, or with the help of graphical representation. So this graphical representation of market demand schedule or individual demand schedule is known as the demand curve. Okay, if it is based on individual demand schedule, it is known as individual demand curve. If it is based on market demand schedule, it is known as market demand curve. Okay, a market demand curve or an individual demand curve, for that matter any demand curve, shows a relationship between the price and the commodity demanded, quantity demanded of a particular commodity, keeping rest everything constant, all the determinants as constant. It shows a relationship between price and quantity demanded of a particular commodity. Okay,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, I'm finding the demand curve and the previous table thing very confusing.
Very confusing. Let's go to the previous curve. See, it is simple, a graphical presentation. Okay, what table, this table, that individual demand schedule you have made. This is known as individual demand schedule. In this table, you write the different prices at which that commodity is available and the quantity that is available at that price. What is your demand? What is your demand, Arya? What is the definition of demand?
Ma'am, demand, let me say, I have not learned it.
The simple definition of demand is at a particular price for one individual consumer, at a particular price, what will be the quantity that will satisfy his want. Okay, so for this consumer A, at 30 rupees per kg, he can buy only 1 kg of sugar. Now, why? It might be, it can always happen that he would want more sugar, but his purchasing capacity is that much only that he can buy only 1 kg. Okay, when I told you that you have to take these points into consideration when you're talking about demand. What was it? Quantity demanded, price at that particular point of time. Yes, and the market should be there for the exchange to happen. It is a want for which he is ready to put in efforts, and he is ready to put in that much money only on that, not more than that. From his entire monthly budget, at a price of rupees 30, he can buy only 1 kg of sugar. Clear? That is what determines his demand. Is this clear for an individual? Now, when the price drops, it comes to 29. He can buy 2 kgs of sugar. Okay. Then when the price further drops, it is 28 kgs. It is 28 rupees per kg. He can buy 3 kgs. It's just a random number to explain to you what is a individual demand schedule. Okay. So these are just random numbers we have taken. And because price and demand, keeping all the other things constant, will always have a inverse relationship. Whenever the price of a commodity goes up, its demand will go down. Okay. And whenever the price goes down, its demand will go up. Okay. Is it clear? That happens in daily life also. When the price of onion shot up to 80 rupees per kg, people were buying less of onion. Yes or no? And the moment it dropped down, when it comes to 20 rupees, 30 rupees, people, because they can buy more quantity now, they satisfy more of their want. Okay, in the same amount of money, in the same 100 rupees, they can now satisfy more amount. Now, is this clear? Individual demand schedule?
Yes.
Yes, and this only when you graphically represent becomes your demand curve. Demand curve is nothing but a relationship between price of a commodity and the quantity that is demanded of that commodity, or what the consumer wishes to purchase, as shown in a graphic presentation. It's just a graphic representation of demand schedule. Understood?